of people that that just started that were like, oh, am I supposed to be on that call? So as long as you are, moving along and you've been doing the calls, we started on the first, let's see, when did we start? We started August 6th. So this is our fourth and final of the month of August. Now, let me just kind of preface by saying this is what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk a little bit about ending the month strong. We are going to talk a little bit about this end of the month flash sale in case you've been seeing some chatter about that and wonder what that's all about. We're going to talk a little bit about what your next steps are and kind of where to go from here. All right. So that's the game plan for today. And then if you guys have questions or things you want me to cover, if there's anything that you are struggling with at all, this is a really great place to kind of talk about that. All right. Just be very open and honest about where you're at. So a couple of things. We started in September. Let me just kind of, let's recap a little bit about what our number one priority is as influencers, as people that are inspiring others to take that leap of faith in their health and fitness journey. It is to, number one, be the example, to get results, to do the product, to follow the meal plan, to drink your Shakeology every single day, and to openly share that. Now, for some people, it's easier said than done. Some of us maybe are a little more nervous to put ourselves out there. Some of us maybe it took us a week and a half or 2 weeks to launch our business. Maybe some of you just launched last week. And so wherever you are at, that is okay. Like, you are allowed to move at whatever pace that you want to move. And yes, we always talk about benchmarks and goal setting, and I give you sort of a guideline for where I would like you to be, but it's not that you are a failure if you don't reach the goals, or that you'll never be successful if you don't do it right in the first month. So I do want to just kind of preface by saying that everybody moves through their business at a different pace. But I do want to challenge you and say, are you just like playing it safe? Or are you trying to kind of hide in that comfort zone? Or are you showing up every day and working your business, but you're really just watching training videos, right? All day long. And you're creating a strategy. You really haven't taken action yet. And I know that there are some of you that are kind of like hanging out in that spot. And I want to push you. I want to push back a little bit on that subject, because you can't make money at doing this business if you aren't enrolling people, if you aren't sharing and you aren't leading by example. People will not come to you. You have to be bold and put yourself out there. Now, there's a fine balance between pushing and being annoying and influencing and sharing. And so that's kind of the balance that we're aiming for. But if you set a goal for yourself and you said, I want to make back my initial investment, you're three people. So wherever you're at right now, we have 5 days. It is not over until the clock strikes midnight on the 31st, East Coast time. All right. So you have East Coast time. Midnight is when you're final to get all of your numbers in for the month. Now, your Success Club points run by calendar month. So when you wake up on Saturday morning and it's September 1st, everything will say 0 again. And so then you'll have the whole month from the 1st until the 30th of September to get your 5 Success Club points. All right. So that's kind of where we're at. Also, how many of you do have 5 points already this month or more? If you've got 5 or more, you also want to make sure that you've got your Shakeology Home Direct, or you have 90 PV of Home Direct something, so that you qualify for that Success Club prize, which your first month as a coach is your hat. And if you're one of my personally sponsored coaches, I am doing the sweaty bands this month as a little extra like promotion. We're doing these customized sweaty bands. So that is something just to kind of make sure that you've got on your radar. And if you have questions about that, let me know. All right. So as we move forward, I think somebody let me just make sure it's muted. Okay. So just a couple of things. Committing to the program. Let's just go back through and let's talk a little bit about the process. As a new coach, your number one goal is to start and finish a fitness program and share your results. At this point, this is our 4th call. You're starting your 4th week, if not more. Tomorrow is Transformation Tuesday. Again, I would love for each and every one of you to share your progress to date of where you're at. So you can share it a couple of ways. And you can do a different one every day this week. Will you talk about nutrition? How have you changed nutritionally since you started doing your Beachbody fitness programs? Now, remember, you don't want to use the names of programs or products. You want to make it very curious. You want people to be curious and ask you, what are you doing? But talk about your nutrition. How have you changed? Are you reading nutrition labels? Are you shopping the perimeter? Are you tracking your food? Are you keeping a journal? Have you realized that, you were craving sweets and you've been able to kick that craving? Have you been able to get rid of Diet Pepsi? Have you been able to get rid of coffee or the creamer and sugar in your coffee? Have you been drinking more water? So make a list. This is really where, before you just start putting together a post, make a list of all the nutritional benefits of things that you have learned throughout your past, 4 weeks that you have been on this journey. Then you can even do another line where you talk about the fitness side of it. How have you changed? Maybe you have lost inches and pounds. Maybe you have gotten stronger and you've increased your weights. Maybe you've been consistent and this is the first time in how many years that you've stuck to a program, right? So talk about your nutrition, your fitness results. Then you've also got your emotional or your community. What makes us different than any other company out there? Well, I don't know very many places that have fitness and nutrition and a support system together as like the three components. So, how many people maybe follow you that go to a gym, but they just eat back everything that they've done at the gym, or they go to the gym and they don't know what they're doing, or they don't have a support system that will help them with recipes or meal planning or tips or just friends, friendships, so sort of that friendship outside of the workout program that they're doing. So you want to talk about the mindset, how your mind has changed. Are you reading more personal development? Are you more positive? Are you getting up and doing Miracle Morning in the morning, doing some personal development? So, there is more to your story than just having a before and after. Although your before and afters are the most powerful tool that you have, the most powerful. And I can remember when I was starting, I would say to myself, God, I really want to sleep in. I really want to sleep in today. Or at the end of the day, gosh, it's been a really long day and I just really want to lay on the couch and I don't really want to do this workout today. But I would think to myself, like, my body is my business. And if I do not show people that I am strong enough to do a workout on a bad day, or if I don't show people that I can make good choices, they're not going to purchase from me. They're not going to trust me. They're not going to see that I'm resilient. I have to build that trust with my community. And so my business, my accountability and my fitness stayed so super strong because I wanted to make this business work and I wanted to reach my goals at the same time. So it sort of went it really does go hand in hand. So where are you at right now? I want you to share that tomorrow or sometime this week. I want you to really go through. But how do we catch people's attention? We really have to make sure we've got a good graphic that is pulling people in. So no motivational quotes when you're telling your story, my friends. It's got to be your pretty face, all right? Is the sun shining where you're at today? Are you dressed for work? Did you do your hair today? Do you still have your workout clothes? Maybe you want to change your outfit a couple of times today and snap a few pictures, right? Go stand by the natural light of the window. Use your hopefully you guys all have a tripod by this point that you've bought, Amazon, really super cheap. Like this one is super cheap. My phone fits in there. I have a timer. It's just a little remote timer that I bought on Amazon. This is how I do everything. And I can stand it up large or small and I literally just on the floor and hit the button. All right. So that makes your life so much easier. So take a few photos. Get your side-by-sides put together and let's share where you're at. If you've lost 2 pounds, share it. If you've lost 5 pounds, share it. If you've lost 0, share it. You have to get into the habit of sharing and connecting with your audience. So what are people telling you that they're struggling with right now? Is it time? Is it money? Is it mindset? I wish I could do what you do. Talk about that. Actually sit there and say, what does the person on the other end of that computer screen need to hear from me? and speak to them like they're your best friend and just talk to them, and then make sure you give a call to action. Every post that you do should have a call to action. And when I say call to action, it doesn't mean business. It could be like, do you agree with me? Or, do you struggle with this too? Or where are my shopaholics out there? That's a call to action, right? Something where you are asking for engagement, where you're asking a question, you're trying to get people to respond. Anybody else have, get really sad when their kids go back on the first day of school, right? That's engagement. That's a question. So those are things that you want to be focusing on. It's not just, I'm not just selling, but I want to make sure that I'm actually engaging with my audience. Okay. So you want to engage with your audience. So your results, that's first and foremost. Second thing, before and after photos, that's a part of the job requirement, right? Is to make sure that you are taking your progress photos. If you're a blogger, so if you're somebody that likes to write, writing about your story every single Sunday, that was something I did religiously at the beginning. Was I would take a picture of my meal plan, I would put my side-by-side photos together, and I would talk about every week what went well, what went wrong, what my intentions were for the week ahead. It's a holiday week, so I would talk about what we were doing as a family. I would share recipes in that blog. I just started a free blog on WordPress, and it grew, and I was able to share my blog posts on my Facebook and on my Instagram. So if you're a blogger or you like to write, that is another outlet for you to share your story. Even just participating in the challenge group, if you find yourself struggling on the fitness front or the nutrition front of things, make sure you lean into the challenge group and your coach. Make sure you're asking me. If you're struggling, I'm not just your business mentor, but I am your fitness coach too. So ask me if you are having a hard time with Shakeology, or you're having a hard time with the performance line or the workout, or if you don't like the workout, it's okay to say, I really hate lift 4. It is not my jam. All right, well, let's find something else that you do like. All right, so it's okay to be honest about the way that you're feeling, because you can't share something you don't authentically love. So that's a big part of what we do, is finding what works for you. And that troubleshooting process also makes you able to help your future clients and customers as well. All right. So we talked a lot about, just funneling people into a free community. I don't know how many of you have started that or have been doing that, if it's been working for you. But the last thing I just really want to revisit is this concept of, I want to work on social media today, but just your vision and your goals. So you're 30 days in. By now, you've realized that this takes work. Right? You've realized that nothing is just going to be handed to you, that there is never going to be, I promise you, I've been doing this for 7 years. I have seen people come and go in this business. I've seen people go to other companies. I've seen people come back, everything. There is never a business opportunity that is just going to throw money at you and say, here, there you go. I don't even care what you do, just there's the money, right? Every business that you ever start or ever do will always require effort. And it will require consistent effort over time to produce results. There is, even when I look at influencers on social media, they did not wake up and have 100,000 followers, right? They all started at the same place that you and I did, with 0. But what they did was they understood that this takes time. I have to develop a trust. I have to, give people great advice. I have to, show my life. I've got to connect with my audience. I have to be willing to put myself out there. And slowly but surely, they began to grow this network and this influence. And because they stayed consistent, doors began to open. People began to reach out to them. Hey, will you promote this product? Hey, will you do a review on that? Hey, I'll pay you to post this on your social media. That happens because of all the work that people do behind the scenes. So just remember that wherever you are at right now, this time, this first 3 to 6 months of building your business, this is the foundation. This is kind of the grunt work. This is where I worked a ridiculous amount of hours for a penny. I swear I got paid a penny an hour when I first started, right? Because I made one sale my very first month. So I made one Shakeology sale. So in 30 days, I made $30. I made $1 a day, right? And I probably worked 20 hours a week. But what happened is then the next month I got better, and then the next month I got better, and then it just exponentially began to grow. But most people don't understand that part of it. They just think, oh, I wasn't successful in the first month, perfect, it doesn't work, I'm out. So you do have to understand that you have to stick with it. Your audience really doesn't, the connection doesn't build to about month 3 to month 6. All right. So that's really where it begins to happen. So just patience is not our virtue, our strongest virtue as women or anybody, right? That is something that's really hard to kind of have. So just know that too. Okay. So moving forward with that mindset, that's why personal development really does help. And so if you haven't finished the first all of the assignments in the Coach University, I'm just going to challenge you to say to yourself, like, set an end date of when you want to be done with all of the tasks in the Coach University. I do have a phase 2. So once you've finished the first 4 weeks of training, then I have a phase 2 that you would move into after that. The goal is to, once you get through your first 30 days and start a challenge group either with me or on your own, then you would move into the next phase where I would want you to hit Success Club again, get 3 to 5 new customers next month, and then advance to Emerald, which means you've sponsored 2 people on your team. So that's kind of where you're going, the progression. So wherever you're at in that continuum, we just want to make sure we're moving along at that specific pace. All right, so let me take a look. Building an Instagram page from scratch is a slow process. It is, Teresa, it really, really is. So things that have helped me, and I'll talk a little bit about some Instagram tips. We'll work on that today too. How does SC work when you sign up in the middle of the month? Kim, your SC always runs by calendar month. So if you signed up in August, you have August or September to be your first month. So it's either the month you signed up in or the month after. If you signed up in July, you had July or August to be your first month for Success Starters. And it always goes by calendar month. And again, we have 7 days left. You got plenty of time to make it happen too. Getting customers is hard. They're probably scared of the price and back off. So here's the thing. When you say to yourself, getting customers is hard or scared of the price, I bet that when you're talking to people, you are saying, oh God, they're going to ask me what the price is and they're going to think it's too much. I dare. How many of you do that? And you're like, you flinch, right? Or you think to yourself, you sit down to do your invites and you're like, this is so hard. Nobody wants to join my challenge group. I don't even know why I'm doing this. This is so hard. If you're in that mindset, you've already sabotaged yourself. And I'm not picking on you. I'm just using you as an example, Cheyenne. So one of the things that I just want to challenge you is when you sit down, I want you to say, who am I going to bless today? Who can I inspire today? Somebody out there needs what I have to offer. So I start my day by changing my mindset and saying, I'm going to find somebody today because I'm going to inspire someone. What do people need to hear? And then I always think about, what do other people need to hear? Or what do I need to teach them? Or what would help empower somebody versus I just need to sell a challenge pack or I need somebody to sign up. So I change my mindset. And then the other thing is I listed out why a challenge pack, and this was one of your assignments about the challenge packs and the benefits, but list out what are all the benefits, what are people getting when they buy a challenge pack. $170 broken down by 8 weeks. If they only buy Shakeology their first month, how much is that a day? I don't math off the top of my head. So if you think about that, what is that? $170 divided by 8 weeks. And then what are they getting? They're not just getting a nutrition program. They're getting fitness. They're getting support. I'm going to help them. So when you think about it, at the end of it's actually a really good deal. And so when you begin to change that and list out all of the things that people are getting when they sign up with you, you begin to say it's not expensive. It may feel like a lot up front, but when you break it down and look at everything you're getting, if you're fully invested and engaged in the accountability group, your life is going to change. Hands down, it's going to change. So I know for me, I would get into that negative spiral at the beginning and say people can't afford it. But then as soon as I started making that list, I was like, and I would give the shirt off my back to do it all over again. Because I know how awesome it was from the friendship standpoint, from the nutrition and what it's taught me. So even just writing all of that out will help you. You can kind of look back at that list if you kind of feel yourself going in that direction. All right. Okay. Yes, and I'm on my 7th week of Lift 4, and I love my vanilla Shakeology. And I definitely think you probably should talk about that. So that's something I would go live and say, the drive-through at McDonald's is always wrapped around the building. The drive-through at Chick-fil-A is always wrapped around the building. You know, talk about maybe experience, like past experiences, how much it costs to buy a grilled chicken salad at Chick-fil-A with a bottle of water, and then compare that to the cost of a Shakeology. And then look at the sodium content and the calorie content and the time it's taking you to, you know, go through that drive-through, and talk about just, you know, this, not that. We always say things are not expensive, but really it's kind of like our priorities are out of whack, or we just don't think about it, right? When we add up all the things we're eating out, if we could replace it with a healthier meal option, we're actually saving ourselves. So that would make a great video or post. Aurora, yeah, I'll have to go back in and pull that because I'm not sure what my tripod is. So I'll let you know as soon as I do. I have to go back through my Amazon orders and figure it out. It says on there, I guess I could just look on here. Does it say, it says Peyu, Peyoou? I don't know what it is. It probably came from like China or something, but it doesn't say. But I did buy an attachment that fits my phone. It's like one that it just has a thing that gets wider. That is much better. Don't get one that's spring loaded. That one does not work very well at all. So that might be your reason why. Okay. So I signed up back in April. Would I move on to the next phase once the last couple of assignments are completed? Yes, absolutely. Jennifer, yes, I would move on to phase 2 once you get through these assignments. Absolutely, yes. Yes, yes. Okay, so anything else so far before we move on to like social media? Okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about just attracting the right people, because that's where you guys are at. So I set a goal for myself every week to attract a certain number of new followers. So just if you have no idea what your goal should be, pick a number. Just say, okay, this week I'm going to add 20 new people and onto my Instagram that are real followers. Now, don't get so caught up in the number that you have or who's coming and going. Just focus on adding 20 new people. And I just picked the number out of the dark. All right. So you're going to see that how many of you have like these bots or spam or other people trying to sell stuff. They are coming and going in their phone. So there's this random thing. It's called the follow unfollow. And so you'll see these people, they'll jump in and they'll comment on some of your stuff and they'll like it and they'll say, DM me if you want more followers. And then all of a sudden they unfollow you. And so it's called this follow unfollow thing. And it's not good business practice at all, but they just do that. They're just trying to gain your attention. They want you to follow them, but and then they just want to buy something. So I just ignore it. I don't ever acknowledge it. If a creepy person, I'll give you a very good example. Yesterday, some guy reposted my post. Anybody see that yesterday? I was like, who the heck is that? And he actually copied it like it was his own post with my picture. And I was like, block. Done. Right. And so I just block people. And that happens to me at least once a day. Somebody's like, hey, babe. And I'm like, yeah, gone. And so I just block people. Nothing ever more happens that I don't even think about it. Right. But just don't engage with them. Pretend like anybody that's like spam or bot, they just don't exist. I focus on real people. That's what I really look at. And so I try to use hashtags that have less than 5,000 users. All right. Because you can get those spammy bot kind of people when you use really common hashtags. So how do you figure this out? So if you go on your Instagram account, and I'm just going to explain it to you as I do. And if I go to search and then I do tags, right? And then just put in a hashtag. So let's just say, here's one. I'm wearing a B brand headband. So I see like Jennifer, you have one on right now, right? You've got the heart one on. And so if you were to tag the B brand, if you put that in there, the B brand, it only has 3,527. So I would tag that. Now, the good thing is I would do the B brand, because it actually tags them as an account, and then a hashtag the B brand. So if anybody is like, where did you get that headband? Or they search that hashtag, you would come up in the search. All right. So anytime you wear, if you buy a shirt from a boutique, tag it at Riley Grace Boutique, or at, whatever the brand name is, at Target. And so you can, then that really, and then it helps you to generate, cross marketing. So you want to cross market yourself. Everything you wear, tag the account. Everything, and places you go, tag the restaurant. Even like local places, sometimes they'll feature you on their Instagram account because you tag them. So I always do the at. And I write at their account, and then I use the hashtag too. So every place I go, I use both of those together. But when I typed in the B brand, it also came up with related tags. So now I was like, mom of teens, at-home workouts, Joel Freeman Fitness, Fit Mama, Moms on a Mission. So I like, okay, you can do hard things. So I just clicked on that. I try to stay away from super common ones. And I was like, well, that one has 27,000. So, I don't know that I would use that one. What about Stronger Every Day? That has 1.2 million. Never Miss a Monday. I always use Never Miss a Monday, even though it has a lot. It just kind of has been one of my favorite ones. No Excuses Mom. So I just kind of go through and I just look for some related hashtags, right? And so then I pick my 10 to 15 that I like. And then I have in my notes section, I have fitness hashtags, I have business hashtags, I have personal hashtags. And then I have about 10 to 15 that I use every single day. And then I'll add on anything I'm wearing or location or something that's different. Okay, so that's something I personally do. But this is how I find tags to use, and this is how I find other people. So if you are wearing the B brand headband, you could easily go through everybody that tagged that, and you can look at all their accounts. Now, most likely, there probably is going to be a lot of Beachbody coaches when you use the B brand hashtag, because the girl that owns the company is a coach. And a lot of us actually wear her products because we just love them. So try to find other things. So do you have like a boutique or somebody close by, or anything that you can do? Like even search. I went through a spree the other day where I searched my location. So I did Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and then I found all of these small businesses. Like I found this juice bar, this clean juice bar in East Liberty, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go there. That's a cleaning. And then I went through all of their likes that they had on their account, because they were a local juice bar and it was healthy. And I just started looking for people that I would want to connect with. And I started commenting and following those people. And I was like, wow, I feel like I just hit the jackpot, because it was like a clean eating place in Pittsburgh. So that is something that you can do. And I just try to spend about 20 minutes every day doing things like that. I also am going to go to that juice bar, and I'm going to buy a juice and take a picture outside of it and tag them, because I want them to try to put me on their page and promote me too. So think about that. Can you go to places and cross market yourself? All right. This morning, the outfit that I wore in my picture, you can actually see in my hashtags, here, this is funny. I took a shower and brought all my workout clothes into my office. And then I sat here and I was like, okay, where was this sports bra made? Okay. So then I tagged it. And then this was from a tiny little boutique. And so I tagged the boutique that they were from, because I know that when I cross market myself, that opens the door for collaboration. And so that's what you're trying to do. You want to try to cross collaborate. Here's another funny thing. My mom I introduced her to fashion bloggers, which sometimes I think that was a bad idea. And so she's addicted to it. But she started following the same ones that I do. And I know that she's going to start buying the same clothes. And we always show up in the same colors all the time. So I searched fashion bloggers over 40, because I was like, all right, I got to get her some people her age, because she can't be following my people. And I was like, wow, there's tons of fashion bloggers over 40. And so then I started sending her new accounts to follow. But so see, even there's this whole niche of people, if you start using hashtags appropriately, that you can use, you can find, you can search, and it's awesome. Another just sort of resource if you are new to using hashtags is there's an app, it's called Plann, Plann. But they also have like a subscription. You can subscribe and they'll send you emails for how to use this Plann app, but also just hashtags and Instagram stuff and how to grow your account. So I read their like newsletters they send out, and I listen to Jenna Kutcher. She's had a good couple of podcast episodes that have been, her podcast is called, what is her podcast called? All of a sudden it just went right out of my head. It is called Goal Digger, the Goal Digger podcast. She has a few episodes on Instagram too that are really, really great. So, just Plann is a great app that you can use. You can check it out. Just listen to her episode on Plann and you'll know exactly what to do with it from there. But it's trial and error. So this is what I do. When I set aside my business hours, I am, I'm looking for people, but I know my content is what is going to draw people in. So I've got my content, and then my stories are where I am just doing the day-to-day life, where I've been horrible at stories today. But usually it's like me in the kitchen, or me with my kids, or doing my workout, or on this call with all of you, like snap a picture, talk about your community, your business. You can be working in your pajamas, just kind of showing like what the life is like and what you're actually doing. So those are just some great suggestions for you as you're navigating all of this. But the first 30 days is totally trial and error. So totally be okay with just feeling like a hot mess. All right. I'm going to talk about time management, and then I'll open it up for any questions that you guys have. All right. I can't drink Shakeology. Okay. I have to cut it in half and reduce it. Okay. Try Daily Sunshine. That's another one. I don't know if you've tried that, or vegan. It took me a long time to get to a full scoop. It took me about 6 weeks, between 4 and 6 weeks, to be able to drink a full scoop of Shakeology. I have really bad IBS, so it just took my body a long time to get adjusted. And I also like drastically changed and started eating cleaner, which meant a lot of fiber-filled fruits and vegetables. My system was like, I don't know what the heck you are doing, but I don't like you. And so I was probably bloated for about 4 weeks. But as soon as my body adjusted, I was fine. And then I just realized, like, I can't have too much broccoli, or I can't have cauliflower and broccoli in the same day. Like, can't, the fiber sweep from the 3-day refresh makes me want to hurl, just like that's a lot of fiber. So I can't do the fiber boost but other people can. So like, you give me a fiber 1 bar, I'm going to be sick for like a week. So every one of us is different, but I have learned through this process what my body responds to. So if regular Shakeology bothers you, even at a half of a scoop, go to vegan, try vegan. Try Daily Sunshine. That's another great option for you. And what else was I going to say? I swear don't do the performance line if you have dairy sensitivity. Don't do Recover or Recharge. If you notice that you are getting sick and bloated and gassy when you're using Recharge and Recover, and you have regular Shakeology, it might be too much whey for your body. So what I do is, on my heavy lifting days, I like the Recover, but I can't do it all together in one day. I'll drink vegan Shakeology, have my Recover. All right. So I've learned to sort of alternate. And I only drink my Recover when I absolutely need it. So that's just some like troubleshooting for you. And then Energize, you're good. I just drink Energize every day. It's like instant. Got to go to the bathroom 20 minutes after you drink. If that's what keeps you regular, is your Energize. I don't know if anybody else has the same thing that happens to them, but I'm like, yes. I'm like, perfect. Pipes are working. All right. So anyways, TMI. Do you let people follow you on Instagram first, or do you recommend friending people first? How do you determine what to follow back? Is there anything to the amount of people follow? Okay. So I don't follow everybody. All right. So for me, I never follow other coaches unless you're my own coach, right? I don't follow, because you don't want your followers to be more than your following, right? You want to have a small number of people that you actually follow. So I try to follow people that I would want to engage with. So people that I would want to be my customers or coaches, absolutely, I follow them. If I see that somebody else that I started following all of a sudden is like promoting another product, I'll unfollow, just because I don't really have a need to follow them back and forth, right, anymore. So I do tend to unfollow, unless it's somebody that I'm friends with, then I leave them there. So, but I will follow people. So I don't, and Instagram is different. There isn't that friend requesting. You follow accounts because you genuinely want to be friends with that person. So that's the way you base it. If you want to be friends with somebody, you follow them, and then you like a few of their things, and you don't have to send them a message. But I notice if somebody's been liking my posts or leaving comments, I'll send them a private message and say, hey, I noticed you've been liking my Instagram post. Like, are you on your fitness journey too? How did you find me? So I will reach out to people that I notice have been viewing my stories or have been following me along the way. So yes. For those who want to keep their Facebook page to just friends and family, is it possible to still be successful by using Instagram? Absolutely. Emily, I believe you can build your entire business on your Instagram account and not even have Facebook if you don't want to, right? I mean, I use my Facebook to run my challenge groups. Also, I have a bigger Facebook because that's where I started. And 7 years ago, Facebook was the primary way I built. So you may see that I do a lot of like posting on both because that's just where I started. But you, as starting out, go for it. You can build your whole business on Instagram and just run your groups on Facebook, and it can be awesome. You can even keep your like certain posts, are public. Certain things, if you want to just keep your kids and your family more private, you can make that friends only, so you can change your settings on each post as you post them too. So yeah. Do I recommend that we work more than one social media? I don't think you need a like page. I don't. I mean, I have a like page and I use it because I built it, but Facebook is just ridiculous with the way that they allow certain things to be seen. If you look at a post I make on my Facebook like page and a post I put on Instagram, I get like 5 times as much on my Instagram as like page. And it's like, why would I put all my money over here? I'm going to do what's working where I'm getting seen. So I don't feel like you need to have more than one. I've always said this from the beginning: focus on being an expert at one platform. You can have a secondary. So I may copy and paste things on Facebook. I may blog as my secondary, but my primary is my Instagram and my stories. People actually view your stories more than they'll actually view your feed. So that's something else. Become an expert at Instagram stories and you will rock your business. So somebody just unmuted. Somebody have a question? Or was that an accident? Okay. All right. I do recommend Instagram over Facebook. Absolutely. I do. Much easier. It's much easier to build your business on Instagram. So, and that's just where people are. I used to use Pinterest to search for things when I wanted to get a new haircut, or I wanted to find fashion advice or crafts or birthday party, cake ideas. And you know where I go? Instagram. Everything. I buy my clothes off of Instagram. I'm getting my hair cut on Thursday, and all my hairstyles I saved from collections and tags for hairstyles. I use the Explore page. The Explore page is customized to what you search. So that shows me people in my niche and in my market. And so that's really where I spend all of my time at. And there are so many free resources. So if you are new to building your account, go Google whatever it is you want to find. This was how I built on Facebook. This is how I started my blog. I was like, I have no idea how to get people to engage with me. And so I went on to Google and I was like, how to get people to engage on Facebook, right? Or how to get people to engage on Instagram, how to get more authentic followers, how to find related hashtags. if you Google, articles will come up by other experts in that area. And I would just read free content and then implement. I would do one a day and implement. And so that I'm self-taught. Everything I've ever done has been self-taught because I just read and practice, try something new. I just tweak it until I figure out what works for me. So that's just the way you have to be. Just it's like your own little sort of experiment to figuring out what is going to work best for you. The one thing I do find is how many of you have changed your Instagram to a business account? You guys have it set as a business account. So on every single post that you make, it says view insights. So when you click on view insights, it only shows you like a little bit at the bottom. Just kind of swipe it up and it'll give you like a full screen insight. But I can see how many people saved that post of mine, how many people commented, how many people went to my profile afterwards, where did they find me from? Was it from my profile, from hashtags, from another source? I can see all that. And then I can sort of begin to look at trends. And I say to myself, all right, here's what I figured out. Yesterday, the post of me that I had in my office where I gave specific advice had more people save it than my workout picture today. I think it's because I gave advice yesterday and it wasn't the picture, it was the advice, it was the content. So people saved that because they wanted to come back to it, all right? I also got on the Explore page for that post yesterday and I was like, damn, now it's gonna show me to people that might search related things. So you want to get onto the Explore page. I don't know how I did it. I have no idea, but that's my goal, is to try to keep regenerating. So I'll say to myself, okay, I gave advice. I gave free content yesterday. I'm going to try that again today. Maybe I'll give free advice on meal planning or under 30-minute crock pot recipe where I'll actually take a really good picture of food and post that. I'll see if it has the same effect again today. But clearly advice was something that got me onto that page. If I go back and I look at my transformation photo from last week and I look at my insights, it had the same thing. So I'm going to say, okay, X amount of people saved it. I'm going to do another Transformation Tuesday tomorrow. I'm going to post it about the same time. 5 o'clock was when I posted that. It got good traction. So I'll do the same thing again. So a lot of what you're doing is analyzing the trends of what you're doing. And it's starting very small, but it will grow over time. But you're a business owner, so part of what you're doing is just paying attention to the analytics that go along with it too. All right. Okay. Another app that works for me is if you like apps, it's called When to Post. It kind of does the same thing as I just did with the insights, but it tells me my best times of the week to post. Like it tells me 10 a.m., 5 p.m., and 10:30 today are my best times to post. Tomorrow, it says 9:30, 4:15, and 7. So it tells me based on my Instagram account in the past when I got the most interaction. And I do sort of kind of loosely follow this for the most part, which means I plan. I actually sometimes plan out. So for example, tomorrow afternoon, I've got some things planned with my kids because it's our last day before school starts. So I already have a post that's going to go out for my Transformation Tuesday that will go out at 5 o'clock. So it's going to, it'll send me a notification. It says time to post. I'll copy paste out of my notes section, photos ready to go, and it'll be up on my social media at the time it needs to be. So I planned that yesterday knowing what my week was going to look like. So again, you'll also get better at the time management and planning too. It's called When to Post is the app. And then Plan, P-L-A-N-N, is the one that I use to actually organize I type my post in there, I save them, I can see the grid of what everything's going to look like. That's the other one that I use. So, yeah. Okay. Plan, P-L-A-N-N is the other app. Yes, I do. So, okay, so let's just talk time management and then we'll be done. All right, very quickly. So time management, that was my post yesterday. I talked a little bit about time management, but have a planning day. Have a day of the week where you say to yourself, what on earth do I want to talk about this week? And if you are sitting here right now and you're saying, I need to hit Success Club, so what are you going to do to hit Success Club? What do you need to talk about? And so I come up with ideas. I'll write down my post ideas. All right, I need to do a handling an objection post. So I'm going to talk about Shakeology and cost and drive-through. So maybe that's what you're going to do. And instead of you just holding your bag of Shakeology, maybe you put it in a cool glass and you take a great photo of yourself and you're holding it, and that's your objections, right? Or maybe it is you in the drive-thru and you have your child take a picture of you in the driver's seat or something, right? And so you want to catch people's attention and tell the story, handle the objection, call to action at the end. But I'll kind of think out, okay, what do I want to do every day of the week? And sometimes I just plan 48 hours in advance. Sometimes I've got content that I can think of for the whole week. But I try to always be one day ahead because it takes me a while to think of it. I also plan my business hours. So even when Landon and Bryce were itty bitty, teeny tiny, and I was like, I'm going to pull 15 minutes here and 20 minutes there. And maybe I'll get, an hour tonight if they go to bed on time. That was all that I had to work with, right? Because I was mom. And so I would say, okay, during this 15-minute block, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to follow up with these 5 people, right? Or I would be, sitting in the car waiting for one of them to get done with preschool, and I would turn on my YouTube and I would listen to previous calls or, team stuff that was going on. Like I had every free second of my day planned out. And then before I would go to bed at night, at the end of the day, when I was like, I've got nothing left to give and I'm exhausted from momming and, trying to run my house and my business and my fitness, I would just say, did I get the most important things done today? Did I do anything that actually moved my business forward? Did I make any money today? Yes or no? And then if I didn't do what I was supposed to do and I had a goal that I was really working hard, I just made myself do it. And it might have been like I had to stay up an extra 10 or 15 minutes, but I just got in the habit of having that kind of mindset. And very quickly, I realized how to change my behavior so that I began to always do things that were income producing activities. Through trial and error, by scheduling my time, I realized that I'm much fresher on the weekends. So I'll get up early and do my invites, my follow-ups, my posts. I found out that 9 o'clock at night, I'm not very smart. So don't try to write a post at 9 o'clock at night or, so there are certain times of the day you will be more productive. And so if you begin to set business hours, if you start planning your time and reflecting on it, you'll get into a productivity routine. And then you'll get more efficient and you'll be able to do invites faster, post faster, follow-ups faster, but you have to practice at it. It's like riding a bike. If you only practice riding your bike once a month, you're never going to be able to just get on a bike and ride, right? You're going to feel like every time you get on the bike, you're starting from scratch again. But if you take, 30 days and every day you spend 20 minutes riding your bike, eventually you're going to be riding your bike faster without thinking about your balance and pedaling and steering, right? And so that's how your Beachbody business is too. The more time you devote to the consistency and learning your skills, the faster you are going to get at building your business. So that is something that you have to work through as an individual, but know that you have all of us here leading you and guiding you and helping you on this path so that you can figure it out too, right? Okay, questions. Anything that I did not talk about that you want to talk about? And I'm chugging my water because I'm so thirsty today. And have you guys heard of those Stir? Have you guys tried these? Anybody tried these? Stir? Those of you that hate water, anybody hate water or hate drinking water every day? I like drinking water, but every once in a while I get bored. But I got them on Amazon. It's STUR. This makes a great post, guys. This one's simply strawberry watermelon. They have all different flavors, and I put them, you just squeeze it in your water, and it's white grape juice, vitamin C, natural stevia extract. Like it's not anything bad, and no calories. I drink this in my water and it's awesome. And I post about it on my Instagram. People love it. Okay. That it? You don't have anything else for me? Was this helpful? I always ask that at the end and you always say yes, but I never know if you're really telling me the truth or if you're actually hanging up going, what the heck did I get myself into? I posted today. Okay, now you got to get inviting down. So let's do that before you go to bed. Send your invites. Use your business activity tracker so you make sure that you are focused on the right stuff and ask questions. Use our Coach University as your place to just dump it. Go into the discussion and just ask every question that you have. That's what that group is there for, and I want you to get the most out of it. And the only way you learn is by doing and asking and kind of tweaking that process. All right. So let's go get this party started. I want to see all of your Transformation Tuesdays tomorrow. I'll kind of start the thread and everybody can drop them in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything else that I can do for you guys. And I hope you guys have a really awesome rest of the week. All right. Bye, everybody. See you soon.